Live.
Fix the issues. No, now we're live.
Yeah, now we're
Are
live.
we
What's
live
up,
now
guys?
or are we live then?
Now we're
Hey
live.
there, gang. How you doing?
What's up?
Oh boy, dude. Monday
What?
is our anniversary. Well, not
right.
yours and mine. Like you know.
Yeah.
Anniversary? No, like
Not that anniversary. Yeah.
it's the channel anniversary.
Anniversary of the channel. I wonder if I can get that off the wall. Start talking, Dave.
What am I need to talk about? Okay, so we got some news going on. Because Mark just walked away. So anyway, here's a couple pieces of news. One, we've got another. My iPhone just called 911, but I had to stop it. You know, the emergency thing. But if you have never stayed at Delano before, so Delano is a property that is attached to Mandalay Bay. They have Mandalay Bay, the Four Seasons, and Delano. They're separate hotels within the same resort. Delano's getting a name change. It is now going to be the W Las Vegas. This is part of the partnership with, obviously Marriott Bonvoy. And so it's essentially going to happen to where they're going to start changing property names to satisfy that, agreement with Marriott. I am kind of shocked that we're seeing Delano change where we have already heard that they're looking for a new name for the Nomad. I was thinking we'd see that before we saw anything else.
Right.
But the W change for Delano does fit more in lines with the brand for the W. So I can definitely see that. If you have not stayed at Delano before, it is a great property. All the rooms are suites. They are extremely nice. It is separated by about a walk of about 50 or 60 yards from Mandalay's Casino. So it is separate pool area, all that stuff. It is very nice. I've stayed there many times. The other thing going on is we have got some speculation happening with gaming and the market. There is a very popular Standard & Poor's Index trustee analyst, Barry Jones, who has predicted a lot of things previously with the markets. And he is very flat on gaming stocks and tech stocks within the next few quarters. Is this bad? Not necessarily, but it is definitely very difficult to gauge what's going to happen based on the industry may be flat. We do know that year over year, there's already a decrease in profits. So is that whole thing we've been talking about for like 6 months to a year now, is that coming finally? Are we going downwards? Unknown, time will tell on that one. Every time I go to Vegas, it is packed. It is always hard to get a table somewhere. I don't see the downturn. Maybe people are spending less, but they're still going. And partially might be because of us why they're spending less. So I don't know.
Could be. Interesting.
Yep. And we got
Yeah, I got it.
What?
To the stars. Well, 1999 super chat, helping to fund the screws for the doghouse. So this is from our member stream that we had right before here. So kind of an inside joke now, but thank you to the stars. I appreciate it. Hopefully
Mark will be in the doghouse and we'll have good screws for it.
We will see. We'll see. I'll have to put.
That's all I got for news.
I'll start a vlog from the doghouse. What it's like in there.
That would be hilarious.
That's right. Winstar Recap. Let's talk about it. So
we,
of course, went to Winstar last weekend, and we met a lot of you.
There's a lot of people
around. A lot of people just recognized us, came up and said hi. And is my mic working okay?
A lot of new people too. I think you sound okay.
Sounds great. Okay. It's got weird lights on it. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it was great running into people. A lot of them came and played along with us. That was great. We loved seeing that. And boy, we just had, I don't know if you guys saw the video that we posted today, but man, what a night. We had an incredible run. We both ended up walking away with cash from Winstar, which was really nice. It happens fairly frequently at Winstar, believe it or not. We have some pretty good success there. I think it helps that we only go for a little while. It's not like Vegas where you got to make it last longer, but we did good. We started off really small like we usually did and did some build up and tried some risky bets. Every now and then we had those two $5 machines. Now that is not typical. Usually every time we do that challenge, and it's nice to kind of go in with a friend, right? So you're kind of softening the load a little bit. You're not putting in as much. We're only putting in $50 each when you think about it. So it was worth it, and of course we had success on both of those machines, but after that we kind of slowed down a little bit and kind of just, we played the machines that we wanted to play. And that's always the idea, guys, is that you got to do a little bit of work when you first get there. You got to play the machines that are boring, don't have the fun bonus rounds, and try to just power through getting your bankroll up above and beyond where you started comfortably enough where you can start to do some of those things and maybe have one of those lucky nights. But the important thing is not to do that. All those $5 machines that we were playing, the only reason we played those is because we were significantly up from our bankroll. Our bankroll was safe. It was going home with us no matter what. And so we're like, you know what, let's push our luck a little bit, have some fun, see what happens. But we were both comfortable with losing on all of those $5 machines. And we've done those challenges before where we have lost. Yeah. And that should be the expected result, right? Always. But, sometimes, and I know you guys can speak to this, sometimes you just have that kind of night, right? Like it just everything's going your way. Doesn't matter what machine you touch. Sherman was on fire too. He was hitting must hit by progressives and all kinds of crazy stuff that night too. So it was just our night. We had a good night. It was a lot of fun.
It wasn't Liz's night.
Yeah,
Liz reminded me of that. It was not her
sorry
night.
It was you, Liz, but somebody's got to lose, right? But Liz has had some. I think the last time we were all there at Winstar, Liz had an amazing night. So that was good to see. So yeah, we had a great time. We always do when we go there. Love those bingo machines, especially the ones that we show in the video. Those are the go-to for us. The 5-line,
absolutely.
3 reels, the 5 reel 9 lines. We just kind of
even the single line.
Even the single line. And I know we did, especially on the live stream. We tried some games that we would never play. Buffalo Ascension was one of them. I still regret.
I don't like that.
But
I don't like Buffalo Ascension.
It's one of those that you got to try every now and then because we had the bankroll to do it. But we typically, even when we go and we're not filming, we go in this circle just around. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. 5 reel, okay, let's go play 5 reel. 5-line, okay, let's go play 5-line. It's just the same
thing. We follow our own advice. Exactly. It's like we're not saying do this and we're out there doing something different. We're playing what we say.
Yeah, exactly. And on live streams, we try to show other stuff just because we want to keep it interesting. Because it does get boring. Even people today were like, this is a repeat video. No, it actually wasn't. But I could see why you would think that because it's the same games that we've played before in the live, so it happens. But anyway, I want to hold this up so you guys can see it. But Jody put the sign up day 1 that we started the channel. So Saturday, October 28th, 2023 was when we started the channel. So we were literally almost to our 1-year anniversary. And Dave, I don't know about you, but I didn't think we would be anywhere close to 60,000 subs. I mean, I thought maybe 20, 30.
I thought we were going to get to like 20. Like we had hopes to get to 20.
Right.
I was like, maybe we'll get to 20, especially when we got to 1,000. We're like, maybe we can get to 20 by the end of the year.
Right.
Because it took us roughly 2.5 months to get to 1,000.
Correct. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam.
Well, we certainly do appreciate everybody that has subscribed, continues to watch, hangs out with us here in the live chat. You guys are family to us. I think that was way more than evident at our meetup. It was great to see and meet everybody. I hope I was able to at least talk to each of you a little bit. I know it was pretty chaotic, but it's very important to me that you understand how much it meant to us that you were there and that you continue to support us and watch us and change your game. You're changing how you gamble. You're gambling better. We hear these stories all the time. Even when you don't have that success, keep at it. Okay. I'm not telling you to keep gambling. What I'm saying is to stay focused. Don't say, this stuff doesn't work. I'm going to go back to my old ways of just playing whatever I want and not focusing on budget. Don't do that. You can't always, you can't ensure success. I mean, gambling is gambling. It's a risk. So you got to always realize that. But if you do the things that we talk about on the channel, you will come out better off in the long run. That's what we try to say. But
the
anyway,
reason why we're moving the meetup to Sunday next year, so it'll be on October 5th, 2025, is because we want to have Monday to be able to say, okay, we're just going to be around. Here's where we're going to be, and have more time with you guys. The meetup was great, but obviously we're bouncing around everywhere. It's not a little chaotic and everything else. And I know you guys were playing while we were still handing stuff out.
Yeah.
We're going to try something different next year to where we're meeting up still. That will be the official meetup and everything else, and t-shirts handed out and goodie bags and all that. But then on Monday, having like we're going to be around Cherry's Jubilee, or we're going to be around here, and we're just going to be maybe Four Queens,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Four Queens could be the meetup spot. We don't know. It depends on what Circus says.
I'm hoping that we'll be big enough by then that we can get event space and really make it an official event. This was the first thing that we've ever tried, and we learned a lot. Things that we could have done better and all that. But I think everybody had a good time, and it was very important to us. So, in celebration, I hope everybody's listening here. In celebration of our 1-year anniversary, we're going to have a special live stream next Monday. Time to be announced, probably around the same time. Yeah, this coming Monday, which is our 1-year anniversary. And we've got a ton of stuff to give away. So we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And we want you to be able to get your entries in, because I believe you're going to have to be on the live stream, because we're going to share a link that you have to go to submit your entry. And we want to make sure that you're here to win a bunch of really cool stuff. We're going to give away a lot of things. So, yeah, Monday, 1-year anniversary. We want to celebrate it. So we want you guys to be enjoy the fun.
Here.
I know.
Like the year just went by. Like all of a sudden it's October again.
That's true. That's very true.
And it's like this time last year we were talking about, okay, what do we want to call it? What do we want to do? And, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a pipe dream. We set out thinking we don't care how many subs we get. We still feel that way, but we didn't think it was going to take off like it did. And so we really are appreciative, more than you can imagine. So thank you. Thank you very much. So anyway, let's start to get to some questions. So you guys have already started asking your questions. Go ahead and put it in there. And also topics. If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, or you want to ask us about something we saw at G2E or whatever, let us know. And
I got to take this one first before it goes away. Okay. Ken French thinks I'm giving away my towels. Not happening, Ken. No.
He will never give away his towels. Definitely not. All right, let's see. Well, let's hop into some questions, Dave.
Let's do it. Yeah, I've got some good ones started already too.
Okay.
Let's see.
KFC manager says, got rinsed for $900 last night. Ouch. Nothing seemed to work. Time to take a break. Yeah, we've had those visits. Certainly. I mean, we just talked about our successful Winstar visits, but we've had ones that weren't so successful. And I've come home early because my budget's gone. Why should I hang around? Those are things that you should do. You should take a break when that's gone. You shouldn't hang around and, because you could get tempted to go get cash and to try to win it back and things like that. So if you did have a bad session, $900, I would definitely take a break, especially, I don't know how much that is in relation to your typical budget, but if it's kind of overextended, what you typically bring, then I would take probably a month break from a casino at least before you go back. Maybe even 2 months, so you can recoup back that money before you go and do it again. And that's always important. We talk about that too, is like, you got to remember, almost like you were growing up, when you did something bad, what did your parents do? They punished you. You were grounded. You couldn't go play with your friends for the weekend, whatever. You couldn't watch TV. Sometimes you got to punish yourself. If you overextended yourself, or you went to the casino and lost your money and you didn't do what you were supposed to do, punish yourself by saying, I'm not going to go next week like I usually do. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off, try to get that money back other ways, not gambling, and kind of recoup yourself and go back again. You got to do that to break the cycle.
That's what I used to do a lot.
So,
when I went broke, that meant okay, I had no more gambling money. My gambling money is generated by gambling. So essentially It's like, okay, and I'll give you an example. I got a birthday card with $20 in it. Okay. So I would use $20 to enter in fantasy football in the next year. hopefully win there, start building up. That's how I would build up my bankroll. That's literally how I'd build a stake up to go gambling. Is I would essentially scrounge everything I could that wasn't, set for anything else. I didn't make a lot of money, but I was able to pay all the bills and everything else and set aside some to where I would gamble with that to try to build it up, play poker games and all that kind of stuff, and then have a stake and go lose it again.
That's right. So true. So true.
But now it's a little more different where it's like, oh, I can actually pull money out if I wanted to, but I still don't. I still make myself build my gambling money by myself. So
yeah,
it's too easy to just pull money out.
Yeah, you have to. You have to put those things in place.
Sean McElroy, do you think if profits stay flat, do you feel comps will go up? I just saw mine go up from 150 free player to 250. Might be a fluke, maybe it's a trend. Thoughts? So we have seen a small decrease in year over year in Vegas, and some other properties, Kansas, Ohio, all reporting decreases year over year. I think Kansas was 2.5% down from last year. Vegas was very slightly down. I also saw an increase to free play, but that's really hard to tell. Is that because of what you've been playing, or is it because they're trying to get people back? It could be a little of both. It could be they're trying to get people back. It could be your play. It could be that maybe math was changed, especially with MGM. They completely screwed their math up. And so are they trying to tweak it? We won't know until we actually see Vegas have a bad couple of months. And I mean, a 10% drop. That would be bad. So if we see that and we see free play go up, I think it's definitely a correlation, but it's too early to tell right now. It's trying to predict the economy in the future by making a change to, tariffs down. You're just never going to know that.
Yeah, Dave is absolutely right. And the advice that I want to give on top of that is you should never change your pattern of play, your budget, or anything like that based off of what your comps are doing. So if you suspect that your comps are going up because you're not playing as much or because you're winning a lot, don't make decisions off of your bankroll and what you're playing based off of that. Okay, it's a very complicated thing how these companies figure out what your free play is going to be. There's a lot of variables at play, and free play, free play and comps in general, you got to remember, are a very, very, very small fraction of how much coin in you're putting through those machines. Okay, so never change the way that you play to try to earn tier status or to try to earn more free play or to get that comp room, because what happens is you forget the value of the dollar and you think, wow, they upgraded me to a suite. Yeah, but you put $2,000 in coin in through a machine. You could have just paid for the suite outright, So you got to remember those things and not get caught up in the comp system, because it is marketing. The whole comp system is 100% marketing. It is their way to get you in there to put your butt in the chair and to play. That is the reason they do that. They don't do it because they're being nice, that they love you so much. They may tell you that, oh, we love it when you come out here, Mark. Thank you so much. We will have a limo come pick you up. We're going to give you a beautiful suite overlooking the strip. I want you to just have a good time. Bullshit. No, what they want is they want you to do all that so you feel all nice and pretty, and then you feel like you need to do something for them, which is to play and play and play and play. But you got to be strong enough to say, whatever comps I earn or what I earn, but I'm going to play the way I want to play, damn it. I'm not going to let you persuade me otherwise. So just try to remember
Mark gets the limo coming. I get the 76 VW bus with
I think my days are very numbered on the limo. I think I've got till January, and that's it. I'll be taking the taxi like everybody else.
It's Uber time.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, here's a good one. I saw this one from David here. It's alive. Any reason the line hits are few and far between. That is the nature of high volatility right there. The line hits are garbage. I've gotten one good line hit on Frankenstein, and it was the mad scientist in 2 rows, and then full rows of the Frankenstein heads that are wild. And it was an outstanding hit. It was like $60. That was really great.
Wow.
But that is it. That is the only time I've ever had a good hit. Everything else is like 40 cents, maybe you're getting your bet back if you're lucky. The bonus is what you're playing for. You're playing for the It's Alive, and you're playing for the free games. You don't get those. For me, it's $100. I put $100 in. I don't get it. I walk away.
Yeah.
And especially make sure to look up and find the best layout. Mark and I found some outstanding setups in Vegas. There was one that was essentially a 3X on the 50, a 4X on the 10, and multiple X's on the rest. I was like, that's the best I've ever seen. Of course, when I play, I hit 375 times 7. But that,
Go figure, right?
Yeah, go figure. But that's just the nature of that game.
The thing is it's genius, right? Because the game is high in volatility, but the frequency of the It's Alive teas and the power and the power up and all that kind of stuff makes you feel like it's not high in volatility. And that is what every game designer is looking for. They're looking to build in high volatility, but make it feel like there's frequency, there's stuff happening. It's not dead spins. Okay. But that game is great at disguising that, because try to remember every time that you've gotten the more power or the It's Alive without any heads, you kind of forget how often that occurs, but it happens all the time.
It happens a lot.
And yeah, it happens a lot. And, it makes you feel like, well, this game is at least active. It's giving me something. No, it's actually not giving you anything. It's just, the power up. It seems exciting. The music starts and you see the values grow, but it didn't give you a win. It doesn't give you a win at all. So it's just a way to disguise it. And so you got to be very aware of that. And that game's genius for that. The game program is. So we got a couple super chats here. We got one from Lynn. Let me put it up here if I can. Where'd it go? There we go. Lynn, put this towards the next one, guys. Oh, I appreciate it, Lynn. Thank you. They'll buy me a coffee in Vegas. That's about it. But that's plenty. So thank you so much, Lynn. I really do appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that gifts stuff to the channel. And speaking of that, Bob, of course, coming out strong with his 20 Gamble Smart memberships.
Thank you, Bob.
Some of you guys got that and can join in on the fun.
I'm pretty sure Bob's responsible for at least.
Yeah, I think so.
75% of our members at this point.
He's a very generous guy, and so is Lynn. Lynn, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you.
Makes a big difference to us. We will say that we put 100% of all of this stuff back into the business. One of the things that Dave and I did when we first started this channel is that we both agreed wholeheartedly that we would never use any of this money for gambling. And we don't. We do not pull money out of the ATM from our business account to gamble with. It's all from personal funds, and that is going to continue. So
we discuss all our purchases as well. We're very fiscally frugal. We want to make sure that we have money to keep going, especially for trips that we have planned for 2025. Yeah, which I don't know how I'm out of vacation already for 2025 planned, because I know
on the weekends
we're going to Atlantic City and we're going to here, we're going to there, and we're
on the weekends.
We are going to try to get as many places as we can next year, as we are most likely going to be traveling almost every month. So keep that in mind.
Going to try to.
How come we don't get here? Well, we're trying.
We're trying. Yeah. So I think it's good that you guys understand that all the donations and everything that we receive go back into the business to get us to go and purchase plane tickets to go visit fans and to do videos for you guys. That's what we do with that money. So we really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Very much. All right. Back to some questions.
Another one if you're still looking.
Go for it.
All right. So from Patricia Macanato. Heading to Vegas F1 week, was surprised MGM gave me 4 nights comped, no resort fees, and I'm only Sapphire and a low budget gambler. Patricia, that is because they screwed up so bad last year. It wasn't even funny. There were some of the suites at different hotels going for $16,000, $20,000 a night. Well, then it turns out that no one else was booking. They only wanted the great suites. The rich people wanted the great suites to see the F1 for free because they didn't want to actually buy tickets. So they've changed the strategy. They believe that more people coming and buying tickets to actually F1. So if you're spending $20,000 for 4 nights, you're not going to want to buy a ticket to F1. But if you're coming in on a comp, you're going to have money for the ticket, money for gambling, money for food. And that's I think they're going with a different direction of, instead of going ultra elite like you would if the Grand Prix was in Monaco, they're going more along the lines of when it's in Austin. We're going to go with more people at the event and then cheaper hotels and everything out in the outrun. And I think that's actually going to benefit a lot more people, especially off-strip properties are going to benefit a lot more from this, because now the strip isn't like the place to be. And I think more people are going to go off the strip that don't want to be there for the race. So, but yeah,
Right.
very glad to see that as well. And
We've
don't
learned a
really
lot
worry
from
about being a low budget gambler. That's, perks are thrown to all levels.
Yeah.
The fact that you have no resort fees sounds like a great offer. And being a low budget gambler, stick to how much you were gambling. Okay.
That's right.
You found a great offer and you took it, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't be afraid of that. Big shout out to Omar. I think I saw you in the last live stream. We didn't get to your comments, so I watched your top 5 Winstar games to play and hit my first 2 jackpots at Winstar and Ruby Reds, 3,600 and 1,500. Congratulations! Yeah, those are great games to play. If you are visiting Winstar, I strongly encourage you to check out the old VGT games. I'm talking about the physical reels. You can see them around, the ones with the bells, the annoying bells, all that. They look very dumb. They look very boring, but they're good to play. The red screens are fun, and you can have some success on those. So don't be afraid to walk up to those. So many people go to Winstar and they play all the cartoon games, and that's not where it's at there, guys. It's not where it's at. Let me get a couple more. Demon Time After 9 says, any tips for virtual blackjack? Yes, I do have actually a couple of tips. So anytime you see a virtual table game like craps or roulette or blackjack, these type of games, when you see them in a virtual cabinet, which is like, it's just you and the computer, right? You're sitting in front of a machine that is basically playing the game of blackjack or roulette or craps or whatever. The randomness of the game has to be as random as it is at the table, meaning that shuffling of the cards has to be random. The ball going around the roulette wheel has to be random. There can't be any weight placed on the results of those things. Okay. So you don't have to worry about, well, why is it that the dealer seems to always get blackjack over and over and over again? It's not because it's weighted that way. It's just randomness playing out. It has to be that way by law. But those games do have payback percentages and returns. But the way that they adjust that is based on what it is that you're allowed to do on the hands of blackjack. So what you need to do is look in the game rules and see if there's any restrictions, like is number 1, are you able to surrender? Number 2, does blackjack pay 6-5 or 3-2? Most likely it's going to pay 6-5, which lowers your payback percentage. The next thing is, do they let you split on anything? Or do you have to have 8s or 9s or 10s to be able to split? Can you double down on anything? I've seen some that only let you double down if you're showing 10 or 11. That reduces the payback percentage. And plus, I have seen some, and I think it was MGM Grand or Aria, the video blackjack that is on the video poker machines on the bar, doesn't let you do anything. No double down, no splitting, nothing. Just hit or stand. Nothing. That is incredibly impacting your payback percentage return on the game, because that's where those are the things that give you more of an edge over the casino whenever you have those opportunities to split and double down and things like that. So you want to have access to that whenever possible. So when you're going around the casino and looking at these games, try to find the one that gives you the most flexibility with all of those things. Another quick example on roulette. Some of them don't pay 35-1 on straight up. Right. They pay 32-1. So that's another that's impacting, that's not good. You got to look for those things, and they're all different. I know in Aria specifically, there's 2 or 3 banks of virtual roulette. 2 out of the 3 of them pay 32-1. So you need to go find the one that pays 35-1 on the straight up number. Otherwise, you're just killing your payback percentage. So look for those things. That's how they control the payback percentage on virtual table games. But feel comfortable, like there's no magnet in the ball, and when the craps, the bubble craps, there's nothing like that that's happening. That has to be random, but they control it based on what you're allowed to do and what you're going to get paid. So look for those things. So I hope that helps.
Here's one from Cynthia Cosin. Hello all. Do you ever play Little Shop of Horrors or Game of Thrones? Yeah. Actually, Windover played Little Shop of Horrors on one of our lives. And Game of Thrones, I like the Game of Thrones game. The different bonuses they have, I think there's 7 or 10 different bonuses, and the dragons, obviously, but it's a very fun game. Not a game you want to play to, build your budget, build your bankroll, obviously. More of a game to play for fun. All those high volatilities are have fun. If you win, great. If you don't, you had fun.
Absolutely. Good advice. And Cynthia Caseland says, do you ever play the movie theme games? Oh, you just answered that one.
Well, just that one.
I clicked on the wrong
Hangover.
one.
I can't find Hangover anymore, but I'd love to find
No,
Hangover.
I think that's gone. Yeah, I remember that one being around, though.
I love that one.
And Vegas Doggy 88 says, question, do new machines get added monthly to casino floors, or is there a certain time of the year most casinos bring them out? When would the G2E slots we start seeing on the floor? So it varies by casino and it varies by state. So one thing to be aware of is that you're not going to see like all the things that were just announced at G2E, that there was no previous announcement. Probably not going to see those for at least 6 months. Probably
Easily.
beginning of the year if you're lucky, but a good 6 months before you start to see those games. And it's really all up to the casino operators to purchase those games. They're taking a risk because that game does not exist yet. And so there's going to be probably leasing agreements have to be made, etc. But typically speaking, most casinos rotate games out once a month because you have to remember that when games get deployed or changed, gaming control has to be present for all of those changes. And so they're not there every single day. So larger casinos, they do have an office there and they might employ somebody there. Not the casino, the gaming control might employ somebody there. But typically speaking, a lot of the bigger casinos, once a month, they have them come out to do all the setups and witness all the setups and things like that. So that's why you don't see it like every week you see new games coming and going. It's usually on a schedule like that. You just suddenly see a big flood of new games, and that's because of the compliance and things like that. So plus it's a lot of work installing new games. So they try to do it all at once. Good question.
Okay, from Adam's Exploits. Adam, need a little help here. Offer from MGM. I'm a super low roller. It was for Biloxi. The problem is it would work out to only 3 full days there. I figured at $300 a day gambling budget, I'd be out of pocket $1,500 to $2,000. Give me some background on that, because are you paying for the rooms? That's why you'd be out of pocket. Let me know what you're thinking on this. Is it a flight? Throw me some extra info so I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Juan's in the house. Hey, low budget.
Thank you, Juan.
Make sure you guys check out his channel. He's got a lot of good stuff on there. $10 super chat. He says, is it true that there's a certain amount of money that must be given back at a Class 2 facility on the amount spent on that day? No, that is not true.
Not amount of money.
They have
winners.
Well, they have a payback
game.
percentage just like Class 3 machines do,
Yeah.
except it's just a collective. So in the case of, say, Winstar, all of the bingo machines are running on the same bingo server that has a payback percentage. It doesn't matter what denomination you're playing. They all have the same payback percentage. Now, the volatility might be different. Some games have more bingo patterns that can be triggered. Some have less. There is volatility. But as a whole, there is a payback percentage return, and it just plays out. There's no limits at a certain amount per day. Like that payback percentage is not like a daily measurement. It's not a monthly measurement. It's not even a yearly measurement. It's just something that they know will pay out over time. Those prize distributions will eventually work its way out to that payback percentage. Same with Class 3 machines. There's a lot of people that would say, well, what happens if the casino is not paying out as much as they should on a slot machine at the end of the month? And the answer to that is nothing. Nothing happens to them. The payback percentage is set. There's going to be months where it's paying well. There's going to be months that it's not paying well. But it will average out over around 10 or 20 million pulls. It will eventually, work its way out. And that's what's expected. That's what everybody in the industry expects. That's what the compliance officers expect. That's how the machine operators programmed it. And that's what the casinos expect. So a lot of people think that there's this granular, like somebody is sitting down at a desk every day and saying, oh man, we were supposed to pay back 95% today, but we only pay back 90%. Are we going to get in trouble? The answer is no. They're not looking at it at that fine detail. They know that over a period of time, it will work its way out. Just it's the average of long numbers, long play sessions. It will eventually get to that point. But no different in class 2. It's literally a server that has a payback percentage, and the way that payback percentage is met and realized is based on the prize distributions and the probabilities of those prizes being distributed. So it's just a different way of creating randomness like class 3 machines do. So I hope that helps explain a little bit better. A lot of nerd talk there. I apologize.
And from Laura Leocata, now that they took offline the dragon links at our casino, what happens to progressive money that were in the jackpots? So was it a true progressive, or was it like the grand major, all those? That's kind of a sort of deciding factor. If it was a true progressive, those legally have to be moved to another machine within the casino. They can't let player money. So if you hit the button and it goes up a penny, that you can tell is a true progressive. If it is, a major, a minor, a grand, and it's kind of just stagnant there, that is probably just a machine, progressive, not necessarily an actual real progressive that would be moved. Yeah. So there are different types, but if you see it go up as machines is being played, that's a progressive that would have to be moved. So it would be moved.
Usually what you see on the slot machine is, instead of progressive, you see bonus. So if you see mini bonus, major bonus, something like that will also tell you that it's not a progressive. There is an instance where it's not growing, and that's because it's reached its cap. But that's still considered a progressive. So it'll be labeled a progressive, and the game rules are on the glass, but it's the bonuses. And you see that. It's like, let's just take Huff and Puff, for example. You have the grand and you have the major. Those are shared progressives. Okay. So they're on the machine. Maybe multiple machines are sharing those progressives. But those are being fed by the players. So every time a wager is done, they increase. But let's see, what is it? The minor and the mini are just bonuses. They're flat. Okay. They're just $50 or $10 or whatever, based on the denomination that you're playing. Even though they're up there with the progressives, they're not really the progressives. But Dave was right on that. But there are just a few.
And you said Dragon Links. Did you mean Dragon Train that they took offline? Because Dragon Train, they've got an injunction going on with Light and Wonder. So I think that's the ones. Yeah.
There is a period of time where the progressives can be offline. I don't know what that is. It largely depends on the jurisdiction, but there are instances.
It's also you can ask for an extension too.
Yeah, so
but I believe it's offline for 14 business days.
14 business days, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Like years and years and years.
No.
It's very strict.
For example,
go ahead, Dave.
So the Mirage, when they are going to be shut down for essentially 3 years, they're not going to open again until 2027. They had to clear out every progressive on property because that was beyond the time frame. I am not 100% sure about this. I know it's like a 14 days in there somewhere. I think you can apply for an extension up to 30 days. But again, there's not really much beyond that because that's player money. So it can't be off the floor for that long. And if you take it off the floor, I believe there's some, at least in Nevada law, where it has to earn interest. So that money would be earning interest while it wasn't in play and would come back with that interest.
Yeah, very well. Very good, Dave. That's perfect. They can't get away with not paying a progressive, but machines are going to break. There has to be a period that they have to take a machine offline because it broke. But they can't just say, "Oh, let's pretend that it broke because the progressive is getting really high and we don't want to pay that." They can't get around that. They're going to have to pay that, either on that machine but like Dave said, combining with another progressive. They can't just reset it whenever they want. A lot of people feel like they can. Oh, I saw it get really high, and then the next day I came in and it was reset because they didn't want to pay it. No, somebody hit it. That's what happened. So, all right. No, I'm actually drinking Rolling Rock. Believe it or not, I used to drink this stuff in college, and I guess I was watching Sopranos again, and they were drinking Rolling Rock, and I'm like, I kind of want Rolling Rock. Subliminal messaging works, guys.
All right, here's the Adam exploits coming back. Okay, so it's $750 airfare and basically 3 full days hotel, $60 crew credit for Philly, Adam, that is not a good deal. $750 airfare, you can get there cheaper and then take a, regular comp room offer. So I would say that's not a great deal unless you've already like set on it, but I don't believe it's a good deal. I think you asked another one, is it negotiable? Oftentimes, no, it's not. Those are pretty much set deals based on play and everything else. I would wait for more along the lines of a Caesars Laughlin trip, which can be very cheap. That Biloxi trip, I've had the same thing you have. I've actually had some of those Biloxi trips be as expensive as $699. And I'm in Dallas Fort Worth area. So it's only a 2-hour flight. Sometimes I really do believe they're profiting on these offers. So be wary of that. Yeah, but that's a lot. When you can get there cheaper than the offer, pass on it.
This is a very, very good observation by Nervy Odds. The new slot machine you guys showed at Gaming Expo where you stop the light on the amount during the bonus. Does that mean we have full control of that light stopping, or is it predetermined? So this is the exact, as soon as I saw this, I had to ask the game designer, what are you up to? Because
what's your game?
By law, they can't allow you to have a skill, added to your play. Basically, if you have fast reflexes, you're able to stop it. I know they can't legally do that, because if you were to game the system, it would throw off the payback percentage return on that machine, right? So it has to be random. So I looked at it, and he said, of course, his answer was it's proprietary. Yeah, okay. But I looked at it, and one of the things that I noticed is that if you look at the values that are on the board, there's a low value and then a high value and then a low value and a high value. And it kind of goes like that all the way around the wheel. And so in some cases, it actually jumps. So you may press it real quick and it will just jump to the next one. And that's how they can control the payback percentage. So even though you may be close to a high, it's gonna default to the low. So it is predetermined, but it's not predetermined, if that makes sense. It's very genius. Whoever designed and did the math on that, incredible work. I mean, that's how I look at a slot machine. Is I look at it and I'm like, how the hell did you do the math on this so that it can be truly random? That's what I always think about. And so as soon as I saw it, I'm like, you're up to something. But then when you look at the board, it kind of makes sense, right? There's a low and a high, a low and a high. So if the random number generator did pick a high number, it's going to let you hit the high number, but otherwise it's going to skip real quick. And we did see that a couple times. Dave did hit the 1,000, but we saw it a couple times where he was trying to hit it again and it skipped, because RNG decided, no, the low number is going to be the one. So, but it's the first time I've ever seen an implementation like this. And that's why I was so fascinated by it. So whoever did the math, man, kudos.
I tell you, on that game though, I am always going for the 1,000.
He actually gave me a secret. I don't know if I should say it.
Well, why not?
Okay, I'll say it. He said that you should not go for the 1,000 because he says it's relatively hard to hit. I know you hit it, Dave. He says it's relatively hard to hit, but he said the values that are at the 9 o'clock position over there on that side, the two low values that are at like the 8 o'clock and the 10 o'clock position are higher than the lower values around the 1,000 and around the rest of the wheel. And then there was I think a 200 or something at the 9 o'clock position. And so he always says to go for that because over time, your average may be a little bit higher trying to stop it over there than to try to go for the 1,000, because the 1,000 is up there, but the two values to the flanking it are like 10 and 15, which are the lowest values on the wheel.
25 and 15 plus there's a 2x though, so that could be 50 or 30.
That's right. That's true. But
and he told me it was
that 2x is very small.
1 in 30
yeah,
of hitting the 1,000.
I can't wait for that game to come out. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. He thinks by design, most people are going to try to go for the 1,000.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's how the math work out. Yeah.
Greed works.
Yeah.
Wait, we got a couple of super chats here from Rupert Hines. What's the best slot machine you recommend for a newbie? Top dollar, double top dollar?
Top dollar. Get hooked early.
Double diamond. Yeah. Cherry's Jubilee at MGM Grand. Red, white, and blue. Triple Stars. I mean, all those are great games. Stay away from Huff and Puff. Stay away from any dragon, tiger, pig. What else am I missing? Wolf. I mean, any of those.
Yeah.
And also $9.99 from Kenneth Hall super sticker. Thank you, Kenneth. We appreciate you. And thank you, Robert. We really do appreciate that. It literally every dollar helps this channel. It does.
Yeah, it really does. We appreciate you guys. You're very generous. You know, I know you work hard for that money, and you know, sending it to us, we do appreciate every single one that comes in. So thank you very much, guys. Oh man, this is a hot topic. I want to bring this up. So RR Rich Owns You says, how is it not considered misleading in slots with perceived progression and pots full, but it's still totally random whether you trigger? It is absolutely considered misleading. They may not, the slot designers may not think so, but it is absolutely misleading. And I'm a very strong voice about this. I think it's borderline unethical when it comes to gambling to have these things. I think it should be very clear on these perceived progression slots. And what we're talking about, guys, are like the pigs, the coins, Mystery of the Lamp. You see the coins and the jewels and stuff building up. You see them, the treasure chests on Tiger and
Mummy.
Yeah, Mummy. You see all these. It's usually 3, and you see different variations of coins piling up. It's completely useless. Okay, it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't mean because the stack is very high that it's due anytime soon, or that you should play that one as opposed to another one that isn't full. It's perceived. And I think that they should put that. Don't use that language because most people don't understand what perceived progression is. Just say pot size has no indication of bonus or something like that, right?
It should be on the glass. It's very clear.
Yeah, makes no difference. So people can see. I mean, I know most people don't read the glass and the rules and all that kind of stuff. But at the very least, it should be up there so people understand it. I can't tell you. I hear this all the time, especially with the Firecracker game. Oh, you got to play the one where, and even YouTubers do this. You got to play the one that's all the way up to the top because it's more likely to hit. No, I've played that game.
I'm just as guilty.
Hit it where it's empty and it goes all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hit it when you're going to hit it. When the RNG comes up and says you got the bonus, it's going to do whatever animation it needs to raise the pots or raise the firecrackers or whatever all the way up to the top to get it. So be very careful. Now, there are some exceptions to these. There are some that have must hit by numbers attached to them. There is one of the piggy games, I can't remember, where the pig that has the free games, there is a must hit by number attached to that one. The blue pig, right? Yeah. And you can find that in the game rules to kind of tell you how far it needs to go. Another one is, what is that one? The one with the gems, with the wilds, where it goes goosh, goosh, goosh.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but the blue one.
Yeah, the blue,
a certain number.
They all have, all 4 of them have must hit by numbers that they must hit by.
Right.
That's a little bit different, but that's the exception to the rule. Most of them are perceived progression. Anyway, it's a good topic. I wanted to get that out there because people really need to understand that it's a psychological thing. It makes you feel like it's almost about to pop. And I see this because I see people play and I watch them constantly looking up. They spin and then they look up and it's like, no, you shouldn't be looking up. It makes no difference what that's showing. And I know that's what they're thinking. And it causes you to chase. It causes you to keep playing. And it's absolutely misleading. I don't like it. I hope that something comes down eventually what forces them to put something on there because it's not teaching people good behaviors with slot machines. Right. So, all right, rant done. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna do a couple of quick ones here from Danny Crow. Oh, you got.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we
go ahead, Dave.
From Danny Crow. Hey, Dave, kick him class of 80. Yep, kick him class of 98. We both went Texas A&M, is what he's saying.
Ah.
We have a thing. You might have heard of us. We got a football team now. It's pretty nice. Also from Lost in Carolina. I received an offer from Caesars for a trip to Tunica Horseshoe, kind of just like Adam's Exploits offer, except for Biloxi. Airfare and 3 nights, motel, any knowledge of this property. I actually like Tunica Horseshoe. It is a nice property. I've been to Tunica about 10 years ago or so. Do not go in the summertime. Mosquitoes there are going to be in your hotel room, even if you're on the 4th floor. They're going to be in the casino, even if they have those air things. Do not go in the summertime. That is a wintertime destination. It's still really nice, but summertime, not good. Hot and mosquitoes, pass.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's one from Kelly here for
90% humidity every day.
This was our live on Saturday. If you have not seen it, go watch it. This guy kept on coming over saying, testing, testing. And we're like, okay, that was once. He did it like 7 or 8 times. We're finally we can hear you. We yelled, we can hear you. This guy, like 3 rows over, who was watching our stream, said, I could hear you. And then I heard you.
Oh, man.
Super hilarious.
Absolutely. And shout out to J-Dog gifting 10 memberships also.
Thank you, J-Dog.
So thank you so much. All you guys have been amazing tonight. So thank you. Really do appreciate it. For all you new members that got membership today, make sure you visit our community tab. Go to YouTube.
Yes.
Go to Gamble Smart, and there's a tab called Community, and you're going to see a members only post on there that kind of gives you the details of what your perks are, how to get to our Discord chat, things like that. So make sure you go visit that if you were awarded a membership. So thank you so much.
And from Janet, have you booked your hotel for next year for G2E? I have tried. The best rate I found was from Cosmo, and it was $99,000 a night. There is something going on with the booking that far in advance, so I'm going to wait till November hits before I try again. It's a little out of my price range.
Yeah.
Comps aren't covering that. Just nuts. How do you mess up that bad?
Another good I love these topics because I'm a math nerd. So in Dragon Links or Panda or Moon, of all the orbs are filled except one, and the last space doesn't show an orb spinning, it does mean that it won't hit. No, it doesn't mean it won't hit. So here's how the hold and spin features work. So if you end up getting a 6-ball trigger, that leaves, let's see, 9 slot machine reels, because each square on the hold and spin feature is an individual slot machine reel. Okay. You've got and locked in the 6. So there's 9 remaining. The way those are programmed, or the way those are laid out, is that the first 3, like say reel 9, 8, and 7, have frequent ball possibilities for the RNG to pick from. But then the next 3 have less, and then the next 2 have even less than that. But then there is always one that has very few, maybe 1 in 10,000, 1 in 5,000. We don't really know. But there's only one stop for the RNG to pick for that last one. And you can actually spot this by watching a game play out. You will see this square move around because they don't put it just in the same place, because then people will just stare at it, right? They'll say, I can see this one. It's not showing any orbs. So they move it around on you. And if you've never seen this before, go watch some YouTube of Dragon Links, Lightning Links. All the hold and spin features pretty much do this. And you can see this one just kind of move around the board. And that's the one that's the hardest to get. So it's still random, and you can still get it. It's just excruciatingly hard to get that last one. And it's hard to get the ones that were 2 and 3 before that. So that's how those hold and spin features is still very much random. It's not predetermined. It just gets harder and harder to land more balls the further on you go, if that makes sense. So hopefully for you math nerds out there, that made sense. And hopefully for you, understand what I'm trying to tell you there. So excellent question. I love those.
Okay, there's a couple about meetups and where we're going to be. I'm not going to put them all up on there, but Chuck about Slotathon. We don't know if there's going to be another one yet. We're still waiting to hear on that. We don't have any plans to go back to Connecticut right now. We're still waiting to hear. Biloxi is in the plans. Yes, it is. Don't have a date. Same with Atlantic City. We're pretty sure Atlantic City is probably going to be first quarter-ish. We just don't know for 100%. Still trying to get through 2024 before we get to 2025. But we're going to start making plans, at least penciling stuff in pretty soon. And you guys will know pretty quick. But anything that we do announce will be on our community page as soon as we know we're doing it.
Yep. And I know a couple of you were saying, it's like, hey, you should let us know if we're coming out to Winstar. So our trips to Winstar is our local, guys. So this is kind of last minute stuff. if we're having a week where we think we're not going to have to do much that weekend, work's been busy or whatever the case is, and we need a break, then we'll make an announcement that we'll go to Winstar. But that one will usually only be a couple days in advance. We always post on our community page. So if you have the bell rung, you will be notified of that. So Winstar will always be like that. Maybe in the future, we'll try to put something a little bit further out as an official meetup and stuff. But it's our local, not going to happen. But anytime we got to catch a flight to go somewhere, you will know well in advance. We will talk about it here. We will make community posts about it. But that's really how we try to best communicate to you guys where we're going to be. Maybe eventually on the website, we'll have an events calendar and stuff like that. It's probably a good idea to do. But right now, that's the best way we can communicate it to you guys.
This one from Jan J. Hi, guys. I was told by a host at Winstar, big changes coming in January. Sounds like they are reducing comps. Have you heard anything? Love your videos.
They're already
they're reducing my comps. I'm going to owe them money. I mean, I get like nothing in free play. I play just fine, but not much free play. My buffets have gone from 2 buffets down to 1 buffet. I still get comp rooms, but I can't imagine them cutting even more.
This is so funny you brought this up. So during the live stream, I actually got a text from my host there at Winstar, and she says, "Hey, Mark, exciting news. I'm just reaching out to let you know that you were the winner of our October ladder bonus for the month of October. You earned $100 in free play. It is only good this weekend, so please let me know if I can book you."
Which weekend? This coming weekend?
Yeah.
You were just there last week.
This is $100 for the winner of a ladder bonus. I am not going to go up there for that. Like, that's just
barely covers gas.
Like, I was reading it and I was like, oh, this sounds exciting. The October ladder bonus, I won it. That sounds great. $100. Oh, and it's only valid this weekend. It's already been loaded on your card. Why? Thank you. Pass. That's Winstar, though. I mean, that's what we expect. You can go there and put thousands in coin in through there and get $30 in free play the next time you're there. Their comps are already terrible. If they're going to change in January, I don't know how it can get much worse.
Yeah, I really don't know how much get much worse. But if they're going to change to be worse, I might as well go to Choctaw. Here's one from Just Mike. Why the extra annoying red screen and bells on Class 2? It's just to add excitement because they are not exciting games, So the bells are obviously when you win $10, a bell goes off. And it lets everybody else know as well who's winning and puts more excitement into them. The red screens are when you match multiple patterns on a single card in a single spin. And so that's essentially bonus spins. That is great by itself. I mean, the bonus spins are awesome. I do agree that sometimes the bells can get annoying, especially when they're not yours. When they're yours, you really don't mind them at all. Like, you really don't.
I swear I say this every time, but I don't even hear them anymore.
I hear them when they're mine. Or I should say, I hear them when they're someone else's.
I never hear them. Yeah, I've completely drowned them out. If you play it as much
when they're
you just won't even listen to it.
When you get that,
it doesn't make for a good YouTube viewing experience. I do understand that. I know that it's annoying, the bells. That's why we try to film, like when we do film those, we try to film the games when there's not a lot of people around us playing those, so you don't hear them constantly going. You just hear the ones that are triggered by us, but sometimes it's not possible.
It's hard.
Yep.
And here's one from Proud Monkey. So Proud Monkey, you just get here and come play. You come visit us, and we'll show it to them all to you. Basically, in Class 2, if you wait, will a new game start on your next spin, or is it better to wait until you spin again to progress through the game? I have tried pretty much everything. I have tried trying to time it right, or you want less balls, not more balls, but of course you want enough balls to actually make a pattern. There's no rhyme or reason that I have found. I don't know if it's better to wait or not. I kind of say just play through at this point, but kind of, space out your spins a little more. I've tried so many different things. None of them.
None of it works.
Yeah,
it's all random. You're either lucky or you're not. Just like on a class 3 machine.
You're either getting the patterns or you're not. You know, it's like you're getting the bingo calls or you're not.
That's true.
And someone else had asked, I think I lost it. Is it better to wait for a new card? Oh, there it is from Sharon Howard. There it is. When you're playing at Winstar, would comment it's a bad card. Is it better to wait for a bad? She won't know it's a bad card until you actually spin and you get the results. You have a set number of numbers on your, essentially call out, and the card changes with each spin. So it's not really anything you have control over. It's just a bad match. It's not really a bad card, just a bad match. So,
yeah, if you go back and watch when we play, we always say that after we've clicked the spin button, because that's when the card changes. Your fate's already sealed. You can't wait and get another result. It's already done. But we actually call it out before the reels stop in their positions, and that's kind of what you're seeing. Because once you can read the cards, you can kind of guess if it's, when we say it's a bad card, we're usually pretty accurate on that, because there are a lot of holes in there. There's nothing's going to be produced. And then we see the 7, and then single bar or something like that. Like we knew it was coming, so we don't get excited. So it just adds another element to it,
which is almost better in a way.
I know
you have some information about what the result's going to be.
I find it fascinating. I went back and watched the video that we posted today, and when we got that full card on that diamond, that was unbelievable.
That was so exciting.
We hit the spin, and it came up like 7, triple bar, and then double, and we're like, oh! But then the diamond came up. We're like, that's a full card.
Because at that point,
exciting. And the reason that's exciting is because we know that we already got a win because the diamond came up, right? So we already knew we had a win, but because it was a full card, that told us it's going to be a good one, because there's a lot of pattern possibilities in there. And if it was going to be like the normal one, like 20 credits like we usually get, we know that is a T. So it's like a T pattern. You look for this inside of the bingo card, and you're like, oh, it's going to be a T, it's going to be 20 credits. But this was a full card. We had no idea what it could be, because all the patterns could have matched. And so that was really exciting to see. It just adds a whole nother element to it.
It's a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun having that. Here's one from Deviator. I liked watching you play Silver Strike Machine. Are those only in Vegas, or does Winstar have them? Winstar definitely does not have them.
Right.
I have seen them outside of Vegas, but it has been quite a while. Like, I don't remember seeing them in Wendover at all, and I don't remember seeing them anywhere else.
No.
But I have seen them outside of Vegas before. It has been a long time. I think maybe Reno, I saw them last. But the ones I know of for sure are like the Plaza Hotel at Four Queens and a couple other places in Las Vegas. Like, I think Sam's Town has 1 or 2 and a couple others.
And Pokey Bandit says, heard you say Mark Lucky Ducky has different pays to the Ruby. The pay table is actually the same, but the patterns are different. So, for example,
for single line versus 5 line versus 5 reel.
So with Lucky Ducky, you can get the Lucky Ducky symbol off the reel. So it acts like a wild cherry machine. Okay. So that's just a different bingo pattern. When I got the 20 credits, instead of it being a letter T, it was Lucky 7. But Lucky 7 on Mr. Moneybags is a significant win. It's a lot better. So each of those games, based on the symbols that you see and the types of pays that they have, the pay table may be the same, but the bingo card patterns are different. And you can look, if you go to help or menu on those games, you can go to the game pay table and it will show you all the different patterns and what they pay. And that's a good way to look to see the differences there. Dave.
I got one here. I was reading. Okay. From LEC. Oh, I have to say, Mark is much taller in person. Yeah, he has lifts on, so that makes him much taller. Both super nice guys, and Dave fussed at me for spending too much on a spin, because you were. But yeah, it's always coming from a good place. You're an adult, you're in your own hands. but that doesn't mean we're gonna be looking over your shoulder and be like,
Okay, I'm going to put up
really
the
Mark's
most random
too.
question of the day here from Bob Burnt. Is baby oil made from babies, like olive oil from olives?
It could be. Johnson and Johnson makes it, and they have access to more babies than anybody.
Let us know in the chat, guys, what you think. I don't know. Maybe ChatGPT would know. That's probably a good question for them.
How many babies to make a bottle of baby oil?
That's right.
Yes, not the ChatGPT. It's probably going to freak out on you.
Yeah, you'll take down the internet.
Call 911.
Oh, man. Oh, I wanted to share this. Dan says, I just wanted to say thanks because of my new home slot machine from Mark. I've stayed out of the casino for 50 days now, saving myself a lot of money. Appreciate what you guys do. That is a good reason to have machines at home, is that you can
I did not think about that.
You really can scratch that itch, you know. It's
right.
Essentially,
you're prepaying your losses.
The games. Yeah, and I like playing the games for money, of course, but I also just enjoy the games in general. Obviously, you can probably just by looking behind me which game is my favorite. It's obviously Top Dollar, and I love playing. I'll come out here for an hour and just play. I think it's relaxing. It's fun, and yeah, it saves me from going, to the casino all the time because I can do it here. So it does make a difference.
You love the game. It doesn't matter if it's for money or not. And I have told this to Mark several times. If you're playing Top Dollar or whatever, and you don't have the same excitement you do, whether it's for money or for free, then maybe something's wrong with you. So, but
that's a good point.
Oh, for Brenda Cunningham.
No, that's a very good point. $4.99 super chat. Sorry I could not join you in Las Vegas. I was out of town, and I hope to join you the next time. Pal Station is one of my favorites for older machines. I don't think we ever went. Did we go to Pal Station?
We did not go to Pal Station. We had to stretch that off the list.
Okay.
Because we were trying to hit way more than we should have.
Yes, of course.
2, we will definitely.
Yeah.
We'll definitely hit Pal Station.
We had to wait an hour for our rental car, so that didn't help.
Yeah, that did not help at all.
That was a fiasco. Yeah. Well, that's good to know, Brenda. We'll have to check it out next time. Four Queens is still kind of top of our list when it comes to old school slots. They have a ton there.
But now Green Valley Ranch was awesome too. We just didn't have enough time there.
Yeah.
But Green Valley Ranch was quite good.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, another super chat from Juan. Low budget, high limit slots, $5. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. With volatility not mattering in class 2. Oh, no, that's not true. Would you say that at the time to play high volatility slots like bingo, lightning, huff, puff? No, there is still very much volatility in class 2 slots. And the best way to tell is to look at the available bingo patterns and their results. So if you look at a game, a good example of this is the 5 reel 9 line that we play. If you go into the menu and you look at the game pay tables, you will notice a lot of different bingo patterns, all different number of balls called, all that kind of stuff. That means it's higher.
I've never even seen.
Yeah. The simpler the game, the fewer amount of bingo patterns to pick from, the volatility is going to be a little bit lower. So there is still absolutely volatility in class 2 gaming. It's not, I think people like to say, well, it's just like playing the game of bingo. It is, but on drugs. The way I try to think of it is here's a way to kind of break it down so people understand how bingo slots work. If you've ever played bingo before, you go in there and you go up to the desk and say, give me 9 cards, right? And they give you maybe a sheet with 9 different bingo cards on it, and you basically play it. If you're playing a bingo slot, every time you push the button, you go up to the counter and say, give me 10,000 cards. And you bring 10,000 cards back to you. And then they call a number and you look through all 10,000 of those cards, or the top one. You pull the top card off and you look on that to see if any of the numbers matched. If they didn't, before the next number is called, you crumble that one up, throw it away, and you pull the next one off. And you're just basically pulling off of these 10,000 cards. And eventually you're going to get a card that is pretty filled in, matching the numbers that have been called. And that's basically what's going on here. But it's so much more complicated and so many more higher level than just regular bingo. So I hope that makes sense. So the volatility, the way I try to think of it in that scenario is that the lower in volatility games will have fewer cards that you go up there and get. The higher volatility games will have a bigger stack of cards that you get. So it very much does make a difference. If you played a class 2 version of Lightning Link, for example, the volatility is going to be the same as the class 3 counterpart. And they've made the patterns work out that way, the bingo call out patterns to work out where it is the same. They've gone to great lengths to make sure it feels the same as the class 3 version. But yeah, that's why we try to stick to the VGT style slots, the old 3 reels, because they're very simple. The bingo patterns are few, and they don't pay gangbusters, but they pay little bits, and that's what you really need to look for. So hopefully that helps. And thanks for the super chats tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
And from Rupert Hines, changing the bet amount after each 5 spins helps on some slot machines? Absolutely not. Anyone that tells you anything you can do affects how a game is going to pay you is wrong. There is nothing that you can do to affect your winnability on a slot machine other than hitting the button. That is the absolute extent of the control you have. 5 spins, 20 spins, changing your bets, removing your card, taking the cash in, taking the cash out, putting the voucher in over cash. All these things, they're just things that have made people feel better to hear and other people better to say to try to get something from you, either money to buy a book or a program or a class, or maybe just subscribe or whatever. There's nothing you can do to make you win. I mean, it's the same thing. If someone tells you, oh, if you bet $3 on 3 in roulette, that's better than betting $2 on 5. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a ball going around a wheel. It doesn't know what you're betting. Same thing with a slot machine. It doesn't know. It doesn't care.
Right. Absolutely. And he says that explains why Ruby Red has a different top line hit. Some of them do. Like some of them have, like on the 5 line, they have a 10,000, and some have a 5,000. I like to play the 5,000 one because the odds of hitting the 5,000 are going to be better than the 10,000. But in that same example, that stack of 15,000 bingo cards, let's say the odds of hitting the 10,000 are 1 in 50,000 or 15,000. So one of those cards is going to have that pattern in there, and you just have to be lucky enough to be the one that pulled that. And what I mean by pulling it out of there is pressing the spin button just at the right time. So it's exactly like what's going on with class 3. Okay, there are probabilities in place about what's going to line up in front of you, and it's just different how it's represented. It's still probability, it's still statistics, it's still averages and payback percentages and stuff. It's still the same way that class 3 is coming in. It's just a different way of doing it. So fascinating topic, though. Thanks for the questions. What are you smiling at?
This is hilarious. This is from Chuck in Connecticut. Mark, when you hit a big bonus on your home slot machine, who pays you? He actually has Jody come out with a clipboard and gets his Social Security card and writes it down and takes his player's card out and goes to the back.
Yeah, the slot attendant around here is really lazy. Not Jody.
Except she went to Walmart, I mean, that's something.
I'm not talking about Jody. I'm talking about me, the slot attendant. So far, I've got like $1 billion in IOUs that have never come.
I had to make my own drink in his casino. That's how bad it is.
That's right. That was bad. Oh, man.
Mental note, when you don't have the right ingredients for a White Russian, just don't make it.
Yeah, I know. We made a mistake on that. Cynthia says changing the bet amount is like moving to another machine. Kind of. I mean, there's nothing to be gained there. Like that's the story that Dave is trying to say and that we're trying to say is that all of these things that you've heard, taking the ticket in and out, resetting the machine, upping your bet, lowering your bet, waiting 5 minutes, doing 5 spins, waiting until it's 9 o'clock, waiting until after a holiday, like all of these things tell you absolutely nothing about what the future outcomes are going to be on a slot machine. Nobody can. The manufacturer doesn't know. You don't know. The casino doesn't know. Compliance officers don't know. And that has to be true. That is the way they can be classified as a slot machine, is that the next spin, the next result must be random. Yes, you see patterns. You see things that consistently happen over and over again, multiple bonus rounds, and then suddenly no bonus round. You see these things, but it's always after the fact. It's not predetermined to do that. It's just part of probability distribution, and I'm not going to nerd you guys with math tonight, but it's essentially just what a slot machine is. Class 2 or class 3 is just a complicated mathematical probability program that is running. That's it. It's all about probabilities. That's why when you pick like the bonus, let's say that you get, I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but let's say on Dancing Drums, you get one of the jackpots and you get to pick, and everybody always says, well, why is it always the mini? It's always the mini. Yeah, go figure. It's always the mini. Well, if you think about it, all it's doing is that there's a giant bowl of ping pong balls, 10,000 ping pong balls, and 9,890 of them are minis. Okay. Like 5 of them are the grand, maybe 100 are the major. And so when the RNG comes down and picks a ping pong ball out, what is most likely going to be the pick? The mini, because there's 90,000 or 9,000 of those in there. Okay. But we don't know what that result's going to be, and neither does the slot machine or anybody else until you hit that button. That's when it says, oh, look at that. I pulled the grand out. You got really lucky. It was 5 out of 9,000 or whatever the odds are. But that's all it is. That's what's going on. It's not predetermined that you're going to get the mini. It's just more likely you're going to get the mini because of the probability distribution of those jackpot prizes. And it has to be that way. They can't pay out the grand just randomly, right? And that's why slots aren't truly random, right? There's a random aspect. You don't know what's coming next. And there's a control aspect that the RNG has to pick from certain things. And it's that balance that those things work together to give you the slot machine. So.
All right, here we go from SoCal Slots. Hit the button every 30 seconds on the dot. Does that work? So I'm going to break this down for you a little bit more. Okay. So the RNG is moving so fast. You are in the nanosecond range. So what if I were to tell you that if you hit every 70 nanoseconds, if you hit it, you would win every single time? For one, you cannot move that fast. For two, from what starting point? So even if it was true that every 30 seconds you hit the button, you could win, you have no idea what the starting point is. So it would take you, I don't know how many tries to try to figure out what the starting point is. And if you miss it by just a fraction of a second, you're off and you have to start all over again because now you've lost from where that first place was. So like I said, there's nothing that influences anything that you can do. If for some reason it leaked from a game manufacturer that if you hit the button at exactly this time, you would win, there's no way you could recreate that because you have no idea where the time began.
Yeah.
Not that I won't try, but at the same time,
there's people need to understand that there's nothing. If somebody figured out a way to trick the slot machine, they're going to try to sell it to you. That's just traditionally what happens.
Yep.
They sell a book, they sell a course, an app, or something to tell you this information, and that should always be a red flag. There's just the only strategies, the true strategies that exist with slot machine are centered around bankroll management. I cannot stress that enough. Anybody that suggests, oh, you have a way that, if you scratch your armpit and you use your left hand and you eat something and then press the spin button, then you're going to be guaranteed a win 1 out of 5 times. There's no way they would ever put something like that in place.
1 out of 5 is good.
Yeah. Every single spin should be true and random and equal and fair for everybody. Okay. That's why it doesn't take into consideration your player's card or anything like that. They're not allowed to do any kind of weighting, as in, heavy weighting of the results based on who you are or how long you've been playing or how much money you have in the machine. They can't do any of that stuff. It's all a probability distribution program that picks a number, picks a result whenever you hit the spin button. That's it. There's just really nothing you can do. There's strategies you can do to try to maximize your wins by looking at progressives that are the highest. Play those, not because it's easier to get, but because if you're going to win the progressive, wouldn't you want to get the one that's higher and not the one that's lower? Things like that. Must hit by progressives. Look for the ones that are close to the must-say buy. There are some strategies exist, but there isn't anything to like testing a machine, like spinning it 10 times or switching your bets around and saying, find the one that gives you a bonus or a win and then stay there, because that is an indication that it's a winning denomination. So that is very dangerous. You got to be very careful with that thinking, because you may get stuck at a high denomination thinking incorrectly so that is the winning formula. That is the one that they have set to win. And what happens? You start to lose your ass, and you lose it fast because you're thinking the wrong thing. Always stick with where you're comfortable with playing, and don't fall for victim to those kind of things, because it's just not how slot machines work. They're just not how. What?
This guy. This guy. If 1,000 people send me $1, I'll tell you how to make $1,000 a day on the interweb.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
I got to change his name in Discord now.
Theoretical monkey.
This pyramid scheme is going to be his new name. All right. Well, guys, we went a little bit long today, but we had fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We do this every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So if we didn't get to your question, we apologize. Make sure you come back early next time so we can start up and get to it earlier. And as always, we really do appreciate you guys. We got a lot of exciting videos coming in. We got a lot of filming done. And look for those every couple days or so. And until then, as always, from Dave and I, gamble smart.
Gamble safe.
All right, guys.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, Monday's stream. Don't forget about that. We'll get it scheduled early. Bye, guys.